Guy channel. The Car Guy channel. My name is Mike Hennessy. This show is all about cars and all four car guys. Get yourself a cold beer. Get yourself a cold beer, guys, because our show is... We are smoking! Car of the week was an easy car to choose. Took a car out of the warehouse. We finished this car finally. You guys usually see it at the beginning of the show. Sometimes at the beginning of the show you see me kind of lean over the fender here getting some work done on it, doing some fine tuning. And some of these big block Corvettes do need a little bit of fine tuning. We got the white stripe on the hood on the car and a handful of other things. This is a 1967 Corvette 435 horsepower car, and it happens to be a coupe. But we did so many different things in this particular car. I went ahead and wanted to make this a driver and a user and a car you can really enjoy. I kept the wheels inside the warehouse a little bit because I wanted something a little bit more on the custom side. The car being this blue color is absolutely phenomenal. They plow this color Elkhart blue, and a lot of people painted the street rods Elkhart blue. Elkhart blue is a real popular color. There really is no bad color for Corvette. When it's a fresh color and when it's nice, it is spectacular. We actually ordered a set of really, really neat alloy, which is an aluminum wheel. This is a billet wheel, and these are hand cut. They're American Racing mags. We actually pretty much got 2 or 3 different sets to find out exactly which is the right offset, the right wheel for this car. We don't want them to rub on these fender wells. Being an expensive automobile like this, any Corvette, you don't want them to rub because these fender wells are in excellent condition. So we kind of put these wheels on. What really signifies a 67 Corvette going down the road, almost anybody can tell in a second, is the hood. The hood of the car is very synonymous with 427 cars. They're the only cars that actually did have this style of hood. These 67 Corvette 427, 435 horse coupes and roadsters are very, very desirable. They did not come with air conditioning with 435 horse. It's what we actually did is we actually custom designed an air conditioning system for the car. And when we put air conditioning in it, we had to do quite a bit of different things to it. We went ahead with the Be Cool aluminum radiator. A huge benefit to the motor to keep this thing here cool. But the neat thing is, what we did for this car, we saved and set aside all the original items, like the correct fan and all the shroud, all the little pieces to go with it. We saved all the pieces for it. But we did put air conditioning in it, so we actually ordered a custom setup from Vintage Air. We got the air compressor over there on the far right. We made custom-made brackets to fit onto a 427 engine. On the back of the air conditioning compressor, on the very back, you see where the 2 hoses go, we got one with we call it with a rear exhaust, a rear suction and a rear discharge on the very back to shoot backwards. We can't have them facing up or they would hit the hood and rub the hood. So we have them facing back. Custom-made condenser for the front of the car. And there's a lot of other things we put on this car. This car actually originally came with power brakes. Disc brakes were 67 all the way around. Disc brakes came in Corvette. 1965 was the first year they introduced disc brakes, and there were a few, probably less than about 150 to 160 cars that had drum brakes in 1965, some leftover cars, and the disc brake was really kind of a real big option. Corvette liked it. J56 was a term used. They had a proportioning valve used. They had a dual master cylinder on it. A lot of really neat things they had on them. The chrome shielding was very, very minor. We went ahead and left the top of the chrome shield off to show you guys some interesting things about the distributor and the coil and how it's hidden behind there. People do ask. But the big deal on this car right here, it is tri-power. 3 carburetors. You got these right here, really call your secondaries. Some people used to call it a 2-barrel with 4-barrel secondaries, however they want to come across it, and that's where they go. These are progressive linkage, and this thing here, when it gets the full complete throttle, the back 2 kick in, and then look out! This thing is smoking. This thing goes down the road like no one's business. And they were the fastest, hottest car, the biggest thing in the road back then in 1967. People really love the coupes because of that fastback design on the back of the car. But these engines in this car are just absolutely spectacular. They did come a couple ways, even though 435 horse cars did have non-air injection and air injection. California cars all had to have air injection. This particular car did and was supposed to have air injection. We did remove it because a smog certificate is not required for this car. On a Corvette, on the tachometer, you'll see they have a red line. This car better have a high red line because that's what they allowed these cars here to have. It's called 6,500 RPMs for red line. High performance cars and the high horsepower cars all had, they're called 80-pound oil pressure gauges. The cars that did not have high horsepower had a lower oil pressure reading, like 60 pounds. In 1967 was the very first year that they actually put in the emergency brake right by your right hand. Great idea, great place to put it, and I don't know why they didn't do it in the earlier cars when they had it on the left-hand side. I'm going to take you through some things inside this car that were not factory original, things that we added on to, and something to make cars safe. Safety is a real big deal, and I know I stress it really quite a bit on the Car Guy channel, and we'll close my shop, Hennessy's Automotive. We stress safety big time. On a car with this much horsepower and a car with this type of safety feature, seatbelts are a big deal today, and of course, obviously, it's a law that have to have them, but we custom made a roll bar. We hand bent this bar, and it's done in 3 sections. And we filled it and split it and installed piping on the inside of it. This bar is one only, custom made strictly for 67 Corvette. They don't sell them. We actually had to manufacture and make it inside the shop. Enrique did a great job. And then we installed harness belts for this car. Really pretty neat feature to do. I'm surprised no one's out there doing it, but if you guys need one done, give me a call. But we had these custom made with the right colors and stuff from a seatbelt manufacturer down in San Diego, made them back for us, and kind of a neat option to have that's not original. A few items that we did make in this car here that are not original, I don't think it hurts the value at all, is we put a stereo system into it. And we didn't do no butchering of the dash. We didn't change nothing at all. But if you take the camera to the back end of this car, far deep back there, you'll see the full, complete stereo systems. But that's kind of a neat feature to it. And it makes the car really more of a wholesome daily driver. And being a car of this type of expense and this type of collectability, seeing it out on the road, we get thumbs up. We get people looking at it all the time. Now, these cars with the 435 horse we mentioned earlier did not come with air conditioning, but we went ahead and used the original type knobs and these backing plates that say pull for air and on, off, temp, and whatnot. You would never know it from inside this car. These right here are your air conditioning control knobs that we actually designed for the Vintage Air system. The Vintage Air system is going to be hard to go ahead and see, but it's all tucked underneath there. We custom made all the pieces for there, and we ordered it from Vintage Air. These right here, these lower control for air, makes this car a fantastic car to ride in. What really makes a car, top-notch, home run, best of best, of course, is options. When you got 435 horsepower and 3 carburetors and you have power brakes and you got the whole enchilada, leather seats, that's pretty cool. These are custom-made leather seats. We had them all done in white, and the white is just a fantastic color for inside this car. And they're done extremely high caliber, but have a leather interior. Not all Corvettes really came on the showroom floor with leather interior, and they didn't start leather interior into Corvette until 1965. And then, boy, I'll tell you one thing, guys loved it, and when they saw it on the order sheet, believe it or not, if they can get it, they got it. Now, in 1961, 62, they did not have the exhaust coming out the back of their cars. 63, they made a rear valance like a lot of the European cars did, and they had these exhaust tips coming right out of the back of the car. 1967 did one thing that's really completely different than almost all the models of cars from 63 to 1967. All the gas cap lids are all painted to match the color of the car. In 63, they were plastic designs all the way up to 1966. They had a different type of design for each car. 67 did something a little bit unique and a little bit different for their last body style. They're all painted to match the car. Really kind of a neat feature. When you lift it up here, get the gas cap inside there. And that's how you put gas in them. And the gas in these things are just like a race car. Huge opening. And it's kind of a little more difficult to get them in there. And, of course, our company, Hennessy and Hennessy Inc., we designed these gas cap pieces that sit right on top of these right here. And gas cap kind of hides in there. So you put the gas in the car. Kind of clever, kind of neat. The top 10 cars to ride or drive in the world happens to be a 1967 427 435 horse car. So sit back, we're going to take a ride.